How's it going, YouTube? Happy Wednesday. Hopefully you're having a good one. Anyway, what in the world am I yakking about today? I'll tell you, even though you didn't ask. Took a break a little while ago, and as I was scrolling YouTube, while I was relaxing there real quick, watched one of Replicant Fish's most recent videos, and his opening video and the montage of clips that he was looking at that particular video, it was quite lovely young lady who was talking about some dating advice that she had absorbed over the last little while here, and the biggest piece of advice that she was getting is that if you do what you enjoy doing, you will meet people who are likewise enjoying that thing, which, okay, at face value, that sounds like pretty good advice. And she broke it down. What she likes to do is to go out, eat expensive food, drink expensive drinks, and then travel to expensive places. Which, okay, if that's your jam, okay. I'm not going to say you won't meet people that way. By people, I mean eligible bachelors, because that is what she's looking for. Where are some decent bachelors? Where are some decent men? Where are good men? That seems to be a recurring question for a lot of ladies these days. So I'm going to try to offer some assistance, and maybe, just maybe, I might be, I don't know, a little helpful? I don't know. We'll find out, and you'll have to judge for yourself. So here are a few tips on where you can find, or at least meet, decent men, at least in my opinion. Whether or not they're good men, that's for you to decide. So, first things first, you must be willing, ladies, you must be willing to approach the men in the context of the situation you are meeting them in. Let me explain to you why. The context in which we men are placing ourselves will offer you the opportunity for an icebreaker in that context, in that situation, at that event, and whatever's going on. There will be an opportunity for you to break the ice, have a conversation, and engage that man about what's happening, what he's there for, in a way that will draw him out, bring him into a conversation, and then you can just assess from there whether or not he's worth spending any time on or effort on, and then, you decide from there what you think about that. So here's a few places where you can go to meet decent men, at least in theory. First one. This one is usually free. There's usually always food there. There might also be drinks there, but not usually, but it's not impossible, because some of these things happen at bar and grill type places. And they are cruise nights / car meets. And I'm not talking about, your street racer meetup in, downtown Los Angeles. I'm talking about your run-of-the-mill generic cruise night, which is open to all makes and models from all over automotive history. As long as it can lawfully make it to that event, that car will almost certainly be welcome, unless it's a themed night, like a Mustang night or a Corvette night or a Viper night or whatever the case may be. What kind of men will you meet there, ladies? I will tell you. First of all, you meet men there who are like me, because I have a Mustang GT 2021. I bought it when it was literally brand new. I like my car a lot. I take care of my car, or at least I try to. And I like taking it to car meets and cruise nights because I get to talk shop and automotive enthusiasm with like-minded individuals, whether they're Mustang guys or Corvette guys or Viper guys or Honda guys or Mercedes guys. It doesn't matter. At cruise nights and car events, even though we all have our fandoms and our battle lines very clearly drawn, typically we will show due respect to all other vehicles at the event, because we're just happy that everyone's there, and we're going to want to have a good time. We don't want someone trashing our car, so we're not going to trash somebody else's car. And there's a lot of cool cars that show up there, a lot of single men who have nice cars. So ladies, it's an opportunity for you, in the context of that event, to walk up to a guy, because I'm sure you've already checked him out, decided if you wanted to even talk to him or not, think he's cute enough to merit your attention, whatever. And you can ask him about his car. Like, what is the name of the color of his car? What year is it? Is it his daily driver? What kind of engine does it have? Just basic generic questions that he will be just as pleased as punch to answer. He would love to tell you about his car, because he is hoping that your interest in his car will create an opening for him ride in his car, or possibly set up a situation where he can ask you on a date in which his car will be your mode of transport to wherever your date's going to be. We're not just going to these events, ladies, because we like to talk to other car guys about cars. That is most of it. Yes, that is very true. However, the rest of it is we're hoping that pretty ladies are there who like men who have nice cars. That's the truth. So if you want to meet decent men who have decent cars, go to cruise nights. You may not find good men to your standards every time, but you will meet different men. And that may introduce you to some menu options you may not have previously considered. Food for thought. That's option one. Option two. This one's more expensive and a little more niche and possibly could require some instruction and training before you do that, but that is get involved in firearms culture. Go to gun events, go to open range days where you can rent guns and learn how to operate and handle firearms. Or if you're already an experienced firearms handler, whether it's pistols or AR-15 rifles or hunting rifles or whatever, go to gun ranges where you're shooting at 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards or longer, where there's a challenge involved, where you can talk shop with the guys at the ranges and lanes next to you and around you, because those men will be very happy to talk shop with you about guns and gun culture, your gun. If you have any questions about what you can do to improve your accuracy, for example, or how to adjust your sights or sight your rifle in, or whatever the case may be, there will be plenty of men who would just love the opportunity to be the white knight in shining armor and help you with your gun. You will also meet men there who will skew more conservative. Some might be too conservative for your tastes, but you'll meet men there who are definitely firearms enthusiasts, are most certainly, or almost certainly guaranteed to be more moderate or right-leaning than left-leaning. So they may be more masculine, and then it may be to your taste, it may not be, but you'll judge for yourself. But any way you slice it, we men who enjoy firearms, we love it when women come to the gun range. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. It is so cool to have women at the gun range. Even if you're just there to watch, we will peacock to try to shoot tighter groups or, go to longer ranges or whatever, just to strut our stuff and feel like we're, Dr. Big Man or whatever, James Bond or, Dirty Harry or, pick your gun culture guy or superhero guy or your whatever action hero guy, whatever. We love it when women are at gun ranges because that creates opportunities for us to show off our guns, which is another opportunity for an icebreaker. What kind of gun do you have? Why do you have that gun? What caliber is it? Why does it set up this way? What kind of scope is that? Why do you not have a scope? Plenty of opportunities, ladies, for questions in the context of a situation in which you can learn about the man you're talking to and his hobby, his passion, and about that man himself, because we will tell on ourselves as we exult about our interests, whether it's cars, guns, and what's coming up next. And if you like how our guns look, maybe we have a nice paint job on it, or it's a custom powder coating, or it's got a cool scope, or you just like something about it. We love compliments about our cars and our guns, which leads me into the next option for you to find, ladies, which is not expensive for you, but is very expensive for us, and that is Warhammer 40,000 tabletop gaming events and or possibly other tabletop gaming event sessions at hobby shops. Why am I suggesting Warhammer 40,000 and other tabletop gaming events? This number one reason, that is Henry Cavill is a Warhammer 40,000 giga nerd. The man loves his Warhammer 40k. There's videos about it, and ladies, we men know you like how Henry Cavill looks, and if Henry Cavill showed up on your doorstep, you're looking for a hall pass or just taking it without even, a word needing to be said. Like, you're all about that. We know it, you know it. Don't even try to lie. Henry Cavill is a giga nerd. He loves his video games and his Warhammer, and he paints his figurines. So if you go to a Warhammer 40,000 gaming event, you will almost certainly not meet Henry Cavill at one of those events. I'm sorry to say, you almost certainly will not see him, but you might have the opportunity to meet a man there who could end up being your Henry Cavill. because, well, it's not impossible. It may not be likely, but it's definitely not impossible, because a lot of good guys hang out at Warhammer 40,000 events either to watch the games happening, or because they're getting into the hobby, or because they're a huge nerd, they love it, and it's their jam. So look at Warhammer 40,000. How do you talk to Warhammer 40K guys? This is how. When you see a guy that you think is cute or whatever, and you see him get his army set up, you walk over to his table very carefully, watch out for where you're stepping, because there are figurines on the floor, just be careful, and compliment him on the paint job he gave to his figurines, because Warhammer 40,000 guys hand paint their armies, and they typically give them custom color schemes that reflect their interest or what they think looks cool or what they're trying to recreate from Warhammer 40,000 lore. Complimenting a man on his hobby effort in the article of painted figurines, you will send that man through the clouds. He could spend that whole day losing every fight he gets into with another guy against, the dice don't go his way, or the other army is better or whatever, and the guy opposite him might say, hey man, I beat you, yeah, your army sucks, whatever. He's like, dude, a girl said my army looked cool. What did a girl say to you, huh? It's gonna be a feather in our cap the size of Mount Everest. We would love nothing better than for you to come up to us and compliment us on our figurines. You could know more about Warhammer 40K than the guy you're talking to. It doesn't matter. Complimenting him in the context of that situation will guarantee you an in, and he will probably worship the ground you walk on the entirety of that day, and he will never, ever forget it. Ever. Like, if it ends up where you guys end up getting married, there may be a Warhammer 40K figurine on the cake. You know? But that's where some decent men do hang out. They go to gaming events where they can, you know, be among their peers in an environment that is suitable to them, where they can express themselves. And yes, they would love it if women would come to these events and just, you know, compliment them on their figurines, or watch the battles, or try to learn about the game and the figurines and the lore behind them and all that stuff. Because some of these guys get really invested, and their figurines have names and backstories. Creative ones too. So you might find some really poetic souls at Warhammer 40,000 gaming events. And of course also Magic the Gathering and a ton of other hobbies, card games and board games of that nature as well. But speaking of gaming, another gaming event you can look into in order to meet men, though albeit at a remove, start playing Helldivers 2. That is the meme game of the year 2024, and it probably will be for all this year, because the memes are astonishing about this game. It's so good. I haven't played it yet, but the memes are better than the gameplay, at least for me, for the time being, especially the guy who does the David Attenborough style, or the Sir David Attenborough, sorry, like National Geographic, Netflix is Planet Earth style videos about the bugs and the automatons in the game. But a lot of men play the game. You want to meet men, join lobbies where you can party up with a group of guys, you know, get invited to their Discord server or whatever, and just talk with them. Join their lobbies, play the game with them, and then if you are talking to guys there who sound like they could be cool or have good personalities, maybe you exchange photos, maybe you meet in the real world if it's practical, maybe you hit it off, who knows? It's not impossible that you can meet a good man through the digital realm in a video game. It's not likely, but it's not impossible. I mean, after all, the YouTuber Shoeonhead met her husband because he trolled her on Twitter. So there's hope for you too through the digital realm. Plus, it's cheaper than going out and drinking every night, or every weekend, or whatever it is you do. So take that for what it will. Of course, if you don't have a computer, well, then you could be up the creek there. But you still might end up saving more money buying a gaming computer of some sort at Best Buy or through Amazon or whatever than versus, you know, going out every weekend to highfalutin restaurants and bars, or traveling because you feel you have to for the Instagram. So there you go. There's 4. Now, if you want to definitely make sure you're meeting a man in meat space and not in the digital realm, here's the 5th one, and it's an oldie. It is the gym. And everyone's talking about meeting people at the gym. It's a great place to socialize, yes. However, the problem is that the gym has become a toxic environment for men because of women who are filming them with the intent of shaming them on social media for their own personal clickbait. want the clicks on thirst trapping men because the man had the audacity to look at her tightly dressed form. And ladies, let's be real here. Every woman who walks to the gym wearing tight clothes, every man, surreptitiously or overtly, is looking. We can't help it. If you're pretty especially, you are absolutely being looked at by every man in the gym, whether he's married, single, old, young, doesn't matter. You are getting eyeballs on your body, whether you want them there or not. They're coming. It is what it is. But you're dressing that way, not just for yourself. You are dressing to be seen, and we are honoring your request to be seen by looking at you. That's how I look at it. If you don't like it, that's me. It is what it is. So, if you want to meet men at the gym, first of all, put your phone away. Don't trap him with video recordings for Instagram or TikTok or whatever so you can shame him later. Create an environment first where you are, number one, approachable, and number two, where you can approach a man in the context of the event that's happening, meaning you're working out at the gym and you're in the same space together. How do you do that? First, it's real simple. Ask him to spot you for your set on the bench, or make sure that you have a recovery option to get out of a really deep clean lift or a squat or whatever, so that you, number one, you're being safe about your form and not having too heavy weight suddenly come down on your torso or neck or whatever. But also, it's a context where you can talk to that man in a shared situation. You're both working out, and then you can spark the conversation from there, asking him about what he's lifting, what he's doing, and then you can trade notes about your workouts, whatever. And then maybe through the innocuous conversations about lifting and working out and weights and maybe nutrition or whatever else, maybe he asks him on a date and it goes from there. Good luck, it could happen. But you've got to remove the toxicity from the gym, meaning put your phone away, stop recording us men, stop trying to shame us first and foremost, and we will feel much more comfortable talking with you because we won't see your phone secretly recording this, okay? So there's 5 ways you can meet men where you'll have a guaranteed icebreaker where you can draw that man out of his shell, and 3 of them you may not have considered before. 2 of them can be expensive. So, because gym memberships aren't cheap, guns and ammo definitely aren't cheap. So, make of that what you will. Now, when it comes to guns, yes, not all you ladies may be interested in going to gun ranges and dealing with gun culture, but there's a lot of really cool guys who are deep into gun culture, who like guns as a hobby, or it's their historical passion, or they served and that culture followed them out of the military. There's a lot of reasons why we own guns. Self-defense is one, hunting is another, just shooting for fun because we like to shoot is yet another. And we build our guns certain ways, or we buy guns that look a certain way because we like them how they look. And again, those are icebreakers for you to get into the culture. Even if you're not shooting, but you see a guy and you want to try to talk to him, when he's not shooting, when the range is safe, you may be able to approach and ask questions, and maybe you find you like guns too, who knows? But gun culture and gaming culture, those could end up being expensive for you as well, because if you like those cultures, well, you may end up spending as much money as we do on them. But at least in that capacity, you'll be one of us, and we'll always have an opportunity to talk to other men like-minded in those situations. So make of that what you will, ladies. I wish you the best of luck. I really hope to meet some of you somewhere down the road at car events or gun ranges, because I'm not a Warhammer 40K guy and I rarely have time for the gym. So make of that what you will as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you down the road.